What's up, Star Wars fans? Today I want to review episode 5 of The Bad Batch. And I gotta say, a lot of people are probably going to consider this a filler episode. The episode doesn't seem to contribute to any overall story of this season, but that doesn't mean that it wasn't a fun Star Wars adventure. The episode starts with Wrecker and Omega out at the junkyard, and although they're just looking for a flux capacitor, Omega loves the junkyard and is collecting lots of little trinkets, just like any other kid would. So once Wrecker and Omega make it back to Sid's place, Phee the pirate discovers that one of those little trinkets is actually a compass, and that compass has coordinates to a planet that isn't currently part of any star charts. And of course, one of the connections I made here right away is Luke's compass, the one we get to see in Battlefront 2 and one that was used as a prop in The Last Jedi. More on that in another upcoming video. But that all said, Omega and Phee the pirate convince the rest of the Bad Batch to go on an adventure to see if this compass will lead them to any treasure. And I gotta say, at this point, one of my critiques of this episode is that Hunter just seems to be an absent parent. He was so protective of Omega in season 1, and that just seems to absolutely disappear in this episode. Whether it's at the very beginning when Hunter's easily convinced to go in the first place, or as the crew gets closer and closer to the treasure they're looking for, the heart of the mountain, Hunter just seems like a bit of a pushover and isn't nearly as protective as he was at many times in season 1. But that said, the Bad Batch are off on an Indiana Jones-like adventure, headed to an unknown planet in the Kelnar Trinary system. And once they land, we get a little bit of foreshadowing as the entire planet looks like it's been absolutely destroyed. And from there, the Bad Batch are led to a secret entrance at the side of a mountain. Using the compass as a guide, they have to solve several puzzles that lead them to the heart of the mountain, and the heart of the mountain, as well as many of the other puzzles, look like they've taken a lot of inspiration from the game Breath of the Wild. That said, after solving several puzzles with the compass and fighting off a monster, the Bad Batch and the pirate Phee are able to find the heart of the mountain, and when everything seems to be going well, Phee removes the heart of the mountain, and it activates what seems to be some sort of monstrous super weapon. And we discover that this weapon is most likely what absolutely destroyed the planet, and at the climax of the episode, the Bad Batch are trying to shut down the machine before it destroys their ship, as well as fighting off the monster that's been after them since they entered that secret door. In the end, they don't just shut down this monstrous weapon that they've unleashed on the planet once again, but they actually seem to trigger some sort of self-destruction protocol. Overall, I thought this was a really fun episode. It would have been great to learn more about this ancient civilization, but in the end, there is a very important real-world connection to this episode, and that is just simply the dangers of weapons of mass destruction. Whatever ancient civilization actually created this monstrous weapon, well, it seems like they were either wiped out or at least their planet was absolutely destroyed. And with the current conflicts that are taking place on our planet, this is a very important message and reminder to all of us. So as I said earlier, I think many people are going to label this as a filler episode, but for me, this episode was not only fun, but it also had an important message and some real depth to it. At least that's the way I see it, Star Wars fans. As always, I'm Mike, and remember, the Force will be with you always.